Hey besties, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. And yes, you did read the title right. I will be reading 50 books in a month. Well, at least try to. If you guys are interested in seeing what I'm going to read for the month, keep on watching. A lot of these books are part of a series, so that's why it's totaling up to 50 books, but I'm pretty sure there's actually more than 50 books. I'm not sure, but we're gonna count together. Okay, so we're gonna start with the physical book series and then move on to the Kindle. So the first series I'm gonna start with is ACOTAR, which is all over TikTok. ACOTAR is from Sarah J Maas. So the first book is A Court of Thorns and Roses, and this book I actually could not get through chapter 1 for some reason, and I started chapter 1 last year. Until recently, I started listening to an audiobook and I got up to chapter 19. So this is the first book. The second book is A Court of Mist and Fury. Then the third one is A Court of Wings and Ruin and A Court of Frost and Starlight. And the last book of this series is A Court of Silver Flames, which apparently a lot of people like this one the most. And there's 5 books a part of this series. And then people usually go into the next series from Sarah J Maas, which is Tog, which is Throne of Glass, which I'm actually missing 1 book from the series, so I just gotta get that. But I will show you guys the chronological order. First book is The Assassin's Blade, which is, this is the prequel of the series. And then it goes into Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and then Queen of Shadows, which is the one I'm missing. And after that it goes into Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn. And the last book is Kingdom of Ash, and this series has 8 in total. And then after that, people will go into her next series, which is the Crescent City series. And actually don't have the 3rd book, which I need to get as well. But this is, the first book is House of Earth and Blood. I love the cover. And then the second one, it is House of Sky and Breath. And then the third one is called House of Flame and Shadow, which, there was a hardcover version of it, but I really wanted the paperback version so it can match all of these, but the paperback version is so expensive, so I haven't got it yet. But I might just buy the hardcover if anything. People usually read ACOTAR, TOG, and then Crescent City, but I found a way that people read it on TikTok, which I'm going to show you guys. They don't read it in this order. So what they start with is, so they start with the first 3 books of ACOTAR, which is these 3 books right here. So they read these 3, right? Once they read those 3, they're gonna go into the whole Throne of Glass series, which there is multiple ways to read this. Now you can read it in chronological order, which is the way I told you guys, and the other 3 ways, now get ready for this. So some people like to read the prequel, The Assassin's Blade, second, right? So after Throne of Glass, right there, second right here. And then the 3rd way is after Crown of Midnight, okay? And then the 4th way is after Heir of Fire. So apparently a lot of these ways just makes the storytelling different. So I believe obviously chronological order, if you read the chronological order, you will know the prequel, which is basically the background story of like the character and stuff, so you'll understand, you won't be lost and confused. Now I don't remember the 2nd way, but I know the 3rd way is apparently more emotional, and like basically you go into the story, and then once you finish these 2 books you go into the prequel, you understand their background more, and then you go back into the story, right? And then it'll kind of like transition smoothly. Whereas if you read it the 4th way, which is after these 3 books, it is an emotional damage apparently. Emotional damage! Where it's like you're really like, you're hooked onto the story, and then you all of a sudden you go back in time. Yep. And then you jump right back in. It does a lot of emotional damage to you, apparently. I'm reading it the 4th way. The emotional damage way. Yes, I am. The Assassin's Blade is gonna go 4th. Yep, this is the order that I'm gonna read it, okay? So after this, basically Throne of Glass series, you can read it in any order you want. Like I said, there's 4 ways to read it. People just usually read a chronological order, but I'm gonna read it this way. So while you read those books, so 2 of the books in the Throne of Glass series, which is the Empire Storm and Tower of Dawn. Now, you can read this like how it's written chronological order, but there's this thing called tandem reading, which is you read both of the books at the same time.
Yeah, double homicide.
Bitch. That is why I have these sticky tabs, because I already sticky tabbed them so I know what to read. So basically you go back and forth, and it's basically happening at the same time, and a lot of people like reading it this way, which a lot of people struggle reading it this way because it's kind of hard because you're like going back and forth, but I'm going to do it. So as you see, I read all these tabs. So once I read these 2 books, I'm going to tandem read them. Would it be hard? I don't know. I've never tandem read before, so we're going to find out. Then after that, last book of the series completed. Then after that, people go into the next thing. They go back to the ACOTAR series, which is these last 2 books right here. Then finish these 2, you go into the Crescent City. Basically, some people read it like that, and apparently it's the best way to read it. But obviously, you can just read it in the order it's written, which is ACOTAR first, then Eternal Glass, and then Crescent City. But I'm gonna do it the way I saw on TikTok. How many books was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then I'm missing 2 books. That's 16 books in total. That's a lot. These 3 series are the first 3 series that I'm gonna try to complete within the month. Why am I doing this to myself? Don't ask. I don't know. Okay, anyways, moving on. So the next series I'm going to be reading is the Twisted series from Anna Hung. There's 4 books in this series. The first book is Twisted Love. Second one is Twisted Games. Third one is Twisted Hate. And the fourth one is Twisted Lies. Now, I could leave it at this and just read these 4, but no, I'm going to continue reading what people suggested, which is her new series, which is King of Softs, King of Greed. Though it's 4 books in this series. I don't have them, but you can get them on Kindle Unlimited, so that's what I'm gonna do. But I can't get them right now. I'm just gonna read these 4 first and then get them on my Kindle Unlimited once I finish these 4. I'm really looking forward to this series because I heard a lot of good things about it. I'm really excited. I heard that a lot of people don't really like the King of like Soft the King of Something series apparently, but I might give it a try. If not, I'll just read these 4. As of right now, total 4 books. And how much is that already? 20 books? The next series that I'm going to be reading is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. Now, I actually already listened to the audiobook of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I kind of just want to reread it, and I just never read the other 2 books of the series. I'm going to be reading this. So part of this trilogy, the first book, like I just said, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and then As Good as Dead, and then Good Girl, Bad Blood. I heard a few people don't really like the last book, I believe, or the second book, I don't remember. I'm gonna see. I personally really enjoyed listening to the first book. Maybe rereading it will give me a different like feel or vibe to it, so we're gonna find out. And yes, whatever book I read, I will be doing a like review of it. This is another series. How much is that? 23. The next one is actually a 2-part book, and this one is called One Dark Window, which I've seen all over TikTok, and it took me so long to get my hands on it. This is the first book, and it is from Rachel, cannot pronounce her last name, but this is the first book. And then the second one, it is Two Twisted Crowns, and I'm looking forward to this a lot because I heard a lot of good things, especially about One Dark Window. How much is that? 25? I know I'm really late to this, okay? Don't hate on me. I'm a slow reader, okay? And I read comics as well, and I try to read mangas, and there's just too much. I'm just too overwhelmed. And I love the game, but I'm trying to get into reading more, so that's why I'm doing this challenge. The next series I'm gonna be reading is, sorry, Fourth Wing. The next series I'll be reading is Fourth Wing, and I heard a lot of good things about this, and I think I will actually enjoy it. The second book is Iron Flame, and yes, I did get the special edition cover because it's so cool. Like, why not? I actually have the original one of Fourth Wing, and I had to get this one because it matches, and plus I had a feeling I'm gonna like it anyways. That's 2 books. We're at 27, baby. Oh my god, there's so many freaking books. Okay, so the next books I'm gonna be reading is actually the first book of a bunch of like series and trilogies that I just did not buy yet, but I only bought the first book of them. So the first book I'm going to be reading is Shatter Me by, cannot pronounce the name, but this one I believe there's like 6, 7, or 8 books. I don't remember how many books there is. This is the first book, and I didn't want to buy the whole series because I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. I just only bought the first one. The second one I'm gonna read is Hooked, which I believe this is also a trilogy. I think this one's a trilogy. Like I said, actually no, I think it's more than a trilogy. I think it's this actual series. Okay, anyways, I didn't want to buy the whole series because I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. So I just bought the first one, which is called Hooked. And it's by Emily, cannot pronounce her name either. So this is the second book. I lost count already. We're at 20 something. The next one is Promises and Pomegranates. And I know this is book 1, but I don't know how many books are in this series or trilogy or something, but I don't really hear much about this book, so I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. So that's why I bought one book as well. And then the next one, it is Caravel from Stephanie. This one is a trilogy actually, but I didn't get the other two because I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But apparently to read, I saw this book series that I wanted to read, Once Upon a Broken Heart, but apparently people say you should read this series first before reading that. So now I'm like, dang, now I gotta actually read this to read that. So the other two books of this series is actually Legendary and Finale. I'm gonna have to read this because I really want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. Is that what it's called? I already forgot. How many books are we at? 27, 28, 29. Then 2 books are down here. So 31. 31 books. Oh, this one. This one, I believe there's a second book to it, but I don't really hear much about it. And I just hear that people only read the first book, which is Haunting Adeline. I actually started reading this, but I just cannot finish it because it scares me a little. I believe I'm 22% in. My goal is to complete this so I don't have to think about this anymore. So these next books are actually novels, and I just never got a chance to read them. So I was like, you know what? Might as well add it to this challenge. So the first one is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I've heard a lot of good things about. I'm looking forward to this. I actually am. I just don't know if I'm gonna like it or not because I'm more of a fantasy, romance, horror type of girl. I don't know if I'm gonna like that. The next 2 books now, I don't know if I'm gonna like at all. I bought them because they were popular on TikTok. And the reason why I don't know if I like them, because I know they're like historical fiction, I believe. I'm not a big fan of historical fiction. I'm not a big fan of history in general. So I don't know why I picked these up, but who knows, I might like them. So the first book is Circe, which I believe Stephanie Sue actually did a video talking about this book, and I did listen to the whole video. To me, it did sound interesting, but it's kind of different if you're gonna when you read it, you know what I mean? So we'll see if I like it or not. Because listening to it, I was like, okay, I can, you know, maybe get into it. Let's see when I read it. I forgot how many books that is. 32? The next book is The Song of Achilles. Again, this is a historical fiction, I believe. And like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. No, this is not historical fiction. This is Greek mythology. Wait, isn't Greek mythology and historical fiction kind of like the same thing? This is historical fiction, according to Google. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna like it, because I'm not really into Greek mythology either. I kind of want to get into it, and the way I want to get into it is by reading Wonder Woman. Next book is Credence, which I believe this might be part of a series. Not entirely sure. I heard a lot of good things about this book, so I had to pick it up. We're gonna move on to the Kindle books now because there's a lot. The book series that I want to start is the Zodiac Academy. I heard a lot of pros and cons about Zodiac Academy. I heard that the writing is not that good and all that stuff, but people read it because of the characters, and apparently they're a vibe. So within the Zodiac Academy, I believe there's a total of 9 books, which all these are on Kindle Unlimited. So I didn't want to buy the physical version because I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. And not only it is a big series, okay? The first 9 books are The Awakening, Ruthless Fae, The Reckoning, Shadow Princess, Cursed Fate, Fated Throne, Heartless Sky, Sorrow and Starlight, and Restless Stars. Those are 9 books. So apparently what people like to do is read the first 3 books of the Zodiac Academy, which is The Awakening, Ruthless Fae, The Reckoning, and then they move on to a different series which is called The Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, and there's 5 books in total, and you read it in that chronological order, so 1 through 5. Okay, so you read 1 to 3 of Zodiac Academy, then Ruthless Boys 1 through 5, then you go back into Zodiac Academy book number 4, which is Shadow Princess. After Shadow Princess, you read point 5, which is Origins of an Academy Bully, which is novella, and then you go into another novella, I believe, and it's called The Awakening as Told by the Boys, which is a 1.5. okay, then you go into the Zodiac Academy again, which is book number 5, Cursed Fates. Then you go into 5.5, which is the big ASS party, which is the big ass party, which is a novella, okay? And then you go into 5.6, which is Step on the Moon, but apparently the author rewrote it and put it into number 8.6. I'll tell you guys. Okay, anyways, moving on. Then after the big ass party, you go on to book number 6, book number 7, book number 8, okay? And you go into a novella, which is 8.5, which is called Beyond the Veil. Then after Beyond the Veil, you go into another novella, which is 8.6, which is Live and Let Lionel, however you pronounce that. And apparently Step on the Moon is rewritten into that already, so there's no 5.6 anymore. And then it goes into the last book of the series, which is number 9, Restless Stars. And then you go into Darkmoor I give up. Penitentiary. Books 1 to 3 in that order. And I believe that's like 23 books in total. I want to complete that series within a month. Will I? Probably not. But a girl can dream. How many books is that already?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34.
Which is 59 books. Yeah, it's definitely more than 59 books. And now I'm not going to leave it at 59 because that's just weird. We're going to make it an odd number, okay? It's going to end in a 0 or end in a 5. Now we're going to add more books because, like I said, we're not going to end it at 59. I have another series. So this is the order. First of all, can we talk about the packaging? Beautiful. The first book is The Woven Kingdom by, I cannot pronounce her name or his name. Then the second book is The Infinite Thread, and then the third book, which is my favorite cover actually, All This Twisted Glory. Look how beautiful that is. I'm gonna complete these 3 books, or try to at least. I didn't really hear much about this on TikTok, so I don't know how I'm gonna like this book, but I have a feeling that I will like it. 3 books were at 62. We need 8 more books to be at 70, because like I said, we're gonna end it in a 5 or 0. So I actually have 2 more big series, but I'm not gonna include them in this challenge because I wanted to include some other books. So I decided I'm gonna do the 4 books after Twisted Love, which is King of Sloth, King of Greed, and then King of something. There's 4. Okay, so I'm gonna include that. So that's like what, 66? So I have 4 more books, and I have the 4 books with me. We're gonna start off with Twilight. I never watched or read Twilight, and I wanted to start reading Twilight, so I only bought the first book. And then we're gonna get into Hell in the Heartland, which is a murder meth in the case of 2 missing girls, which is a true crime series. Or true crime book, sorry. I absolutely love true crime. I love listening to true crime. I love watching true crime. And that is the reason why I actually wanted to get into forensic psychology, because if you guys know, I'm a psychology major. And I was gonna go for a master's, which is forensic psychology, because I just wanted to combine the 2 things that I really enjoyed learning about, which is forensic, and then which is like true crime, the law and all that stuff, and then also psychology, mental health. So I was like, combine those 2. So I'm gonna read this one, which I'm really excited to read about. And then the next book I'm gonna read is a horror book, which is 13 Stories by Jonathan. The Only Way Out Is Up, which, not gonna lie, I get scared very, very easily. So this is probably gonna be the very last book that I'm gonna read. Even though I love reading horror, I love all that stuff, I can't sleep at night. And now, I believe this is the 70th book. It's called The Silent Patient. Now, I actually already listened to the audiobook of this, and I also listened to Stephanie Sue talk about this book, and I absolutely love it, and I just want to reread it. Will I maybe just switch out the book because I already listened to it twice? Probably, yeah. I should pick out a different book that I haven't read yet. For now, this will be a placeholder, because I can't decide on the last book. So these are all the books I'm going to try to read in 1 month. Will I read all of them? Probably not. Honestly, to me, that's unrealistic because of, you know, life commitments and stuff. But I'm going to try to read as much as I can. How many books do you think I'll be able to read in a month? I'm going to make a guess. I think I'm going to read 15 books out of the 70 books. I changed my answer. I'm going to read 25 books. That's a really high number. I had to change the answer. Okay, I think I'm going to read 25 books within a month. Will I be wrong? Maybe. But Who knows? We'll see. Maybe I'll read more than 25. Who knows? But I definitely don't think I will be able to read 70 books in a month. I'm actually going to be doing a vlog where I'm going to be reading. So if you guys want to come along and read with me, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified whenever I upload. Follow me on my social media. It's down below the description box. I'm going to try to post more updates and stuff about the books that I'm reading and everything on my Instagram and maybe Twitter. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!